let's jump right into San Diego Comic-Con. I don't think the listeners can wait any longer. All 10 of them. What's
Right.
up? Yeah. So big Comic-Con for Marvel. It was pretty. This is probably the most a lot of big breaking news happening at Comic Con that I can remember in a while. Because in the day of the internet and things leaking, you heard about a lot of things that were announced there prior to the actual Comic Con happening. But with Marvel, they kept a lot of things under wraps, and we finally got to see their like storyboard, if you will, their timeline,
Hmm.
which is infamous with Marvel and Disney movies. And man, what can I say? I'm
Yeah.
very I'm excited for Marvel Phase 4. I don't know about you.
Oh, I'm really excited. If there's one thing Marvel loves, it's timelines. They don't always keep the timelines going. You can ask some shows on ABC. What was that show? Do you remember? I'll look it up. Right.
There
Inhumans.
we go.
Okay.
Inhumans. There we go. Yeah, of
So
course. Yeah. How could you forget? How could you forget?
yeah. So Inhumans was announced as a movie, and people were thinking, oh, this will be the answer to the X-Men since they don't own the X-Men, and then they scrapped that and just got the X-Men themselves
So
and
I
made it
think
a TV show and then canceled it.
what happened with Inhumans, they aired like the first two episodes at like IMAX or something like that. They aired it at like a
Right.
movie theater, and it was awful. Like the reception was terrible. It
Mhm.
was people voted like I think it had like a 6 on like IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes. I think it was Rotten Tomatoes had a 6%.
Mhm.
So yeah, Marvel. I mean, we didn't really know where they were going with Phase 4. We knew about the Black Widow movie. We knew there was going to be a Guardians 3. Early in the week before Comic Con came out, we got I guess if you want to call it, the hammer dropped, if you will. The Thor 3 was announced with Taika Waititi coming back, which was awesome. Great news.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't imagine them making another Thor without him directing. Like he really
It's tough.
revitalized that
He he
franchise.
he created the identity Thor has right now. He's smart enough to, Chris Hemsworth. He's a funny guy, and he was serious in the other movies. And what's even better than a serious person? A serious guy that's also very funny.
Right.
So they figured it out in Ragnarok, and now we have Thor: Love and Thunder, and it's probably the movie I'm most looking forward to, just because the director combination. We got Tessa Thompson back.
Mhm.
We have Natalie Portman, who hated the MCU,
Yeah.
wanted nothing to do with it until the Thor movies and the Avengers movies gross like more money than we've ever seen. So quite literally, because Endgame is actually now the number one movie all time worldwide grossing at the box office.
Yeah. I mean, it felt
Yay!
inevitable that this would happen. It was
We
just
did
kind
it.
of like, okay, when will it happen, rather than if it will happen. And yeah, they did it. Good for
We,
them.
we did it, guys. We beat those fucking blue people. We beat James Cameron, and we got Disney the money they very much needed. So
Yeah.
good for us.
Except now they own Avatar too. So
We're all winners here.
Disney's the real winner, always.
Uh, some of the other big announcements we got, and like I said, I'm very much looking forward to Love and Thunder. I'm a little surprised that they sort of announced I mean, we've known Guardians 3 was coming out,
Hmm?
but there is no timeline for Guardians 3 right now, which I thought was very interesting. Just to kind of quickly go over the timeline of things that were announced. So Black Widow, which is starring obviously Scarlett Johansson, our boy David Harbour. Uh,
Gonna be great. Really excited for him to be in the MCU.
it's also featuring Florence Pugh from Midsommar, which that's a
Nice.
movie. So we got Black Widow in May of 2020. That is the movie that's coming out next. In fall of 2020 is our first Disney Plus TV show, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which I am also very much looking forward.
Yeah, a lot of hype for that.
And also, Kevin Feige kind of made it sound like we don't have a choice. We have to buy Disney Plus now, which I was going to do anyway, because they basically made it seem like they're putting in just as much of budget and just as much of time and effort into these TV shows
Yeah,
than they are
and
the
star
movies,
power.
and they're all connected now, which the Netflix shows officially became unconnected. I think after like the first two seasons of all the respective shows, and now we get Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which I'm wicked excited for that. So that's fall 2020. Right after that, we get the Eternals in November of next year, which I don't know too much about the Eternals. I don't know about a lot of some of the things on here, but I'm very
Right.
much looking forward to them. So we get that
The
November
cast of the
2020.
Eternals is so good.
Yeah, we got Rob Stark, Richard Madden, Angelina Jolie, Camille Nanjiani, Selma Hayek, Brian Tyree Henry, one of my favorite actors right now from Atlanta.
Right?
Love him. Yep,
Yeah.
Paperboy. Dong Seok Ma. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced that.
Yes, we apologize. But he's in Train to Busan, and he's really awesome in that.
So that's probably that's gonna be, I think, their first big movie. I think that's gonna be, because Black Widow, I'm sure, is gonna pull in fans. I don't think it's gonna break the box office. I think Eternals is gonna be the one that draws a lot of people if the early receptions are good. Yeah. So that rounds out.
Lauren Ridloff, also in this movie. I just want to give her a shout out. She is on The Walking Dead currently. Came on last season. She's one of the best parts of the show right now.
Interesting.
I know not a lot of people are into The Walking Dead anymore, but want to give her credit where it's due.
All right, I was talking Walking Dead for you. Yeah, and then we go jump into 2021, which has 7 Marvel properties coming out that
Jesus
year.
Christ.
We have Shang-Chi coming out in February 12th, 2021, which I'm pretty excited for that because I know nothing about Shang-Chi.
Oh, dude, me either.
It's a hero. It's a hero I've heard about before. I just don't know anything about him, and I'm pretty excited for this. One, because it's different. It's different from what we've had, and two, the Mandarin is the bad guy in this movie.
Yes, so the real Mandarin.
The real Mandarin, not Trevor.
Oh, that was so good. That was so good.
Oh man! So we're getting the Mandarin, Shang-Chi, February 12th, 2021. We have WandaVision, the show everyone's looking forward to, coming out in spring 2021 with Scarlet Witch, and I think Vision's in it, and I think that's why it's called WandaVision.
Yeah, I would expect him to show up as well.
Sure. And then we have Loki also coming out spring 2021, which I think that's a show I'm looking forward to, which is Loki jumping through different events in the history of man, which could be pretty interesting. They set that up also in Avengers Endgame when he got the Tesseract and he teleported out of there.
Yeah, I would say if you die in the movies, don't worry, Disney Plus has you.
For sure, yes.
Your own show.
I have a feeling this is probably the last time we see Loki too. So I'm very much looking forward to that. And maybe, maybe that sets up Thor too. Maybe something that sets up Thor because that comes out before Thor. Who knows? After Loki, we have Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, which is also going to feature Scarlet Witch. So that's going to be set up in the WandaVision show.
Yes.
Looking forward to this because it's being pitched as like a horror movie. It's like a multiverse horror movie. I'm all in on that. The first Doctor Strange movie wasn't one of my favorites, but Doctor Strange really grew on me in Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah.
So looking forward to this, and it's Marvel, so I'm gonna go see it anyway. I'm gonna go see all these.
Right.
And then next up is actually something I'm super interested in. It's the What If series. This is something that we've heard rumbles about way before Comic-Con. It's been about a year since I heard about it, and it's going to be an animated series with all the voice actors coming back to do their roles.
Right.
Like I think there's a chance that we're going to get like Robert Downey Jr., like Chris Evans and all that voicing their characters.
Oh, 100%.
In this show. And it's a series about what ifs, and Brian, you can correct me if I'm wrong, it's basically like what if this happened. It's like what if Gwen Stacy got bit by the spider.
Spider-Gwen. In the logo, you can see the Marvel Zombies. So I expect at least one episode of Marvel Zombies, which is a fun, like, alternate universe comic series.
We talked about that last week, I think.
Yeah. So this is going to be a good series, man. I'm really excited for this. And Jeffrey Wright, he's awesome. Yeah. Such a good actor. So him playing the Watcher will be really fun.
It's like I said, it's different. Phase 4 is the thing of different stuff, which I'm really excited for. This is, I think once Iron Man and Captain America were out of the picture, I think we didn't really know where we were going from here. And obviously, like Spider-Man, which technically ended Phase 3, we just talked about today, made $1 billion. It's the highest grossing Spider-Man movie of all time, which is awesome because Tom Holland and that whole cast right there deserve that. So Phase 4 it's a lot of heroes we don't know. It's a lot of heroes that aren't relatively the mainstream heroes. So after What If, we have the Hawkeye TV series, and I think these are all miniseries. I don't think you can expect these to be continually running shows.
I know for sure the Falcon and Winter Soldier is a limited series, like 8 episodes.
Correct, and I think Kevin Feige mentioned that they're pouring a lot of money into that one, which I'm actually very excited for.
Yeah, it should be great.
Because Daniel Brühl is also back as the villain Zemo, which is pretty interesting to me too. And Emily Van Camp's back as Sharon Carter. the niece to Captain America that he made out with.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. Oof. Just gonna
Uh,
skip over
so
that.
yeah, fuck Hawkeye is fall of 2021. That is going to be. I think Jeremy Renner's back for that one.
He is. Yep.
He is going to be handling over the mantle to Kate Bishop for Hawkeye. That's that whole series is going to be about. So I can assume we're going to see her take over the Hawkeye mantle for maybe some movies, because I don't know. I don't know if this is 100% confirmed, but I do think that they're going to eventually do another Avengers movie.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's. I wanted to talk about that. So we had this whole announcement, but we didn't have a. And by the way, in like 2023, Avengers 5.
Yeah, which because like they're setting up the Avengers is obviously still a thing, because it's mentioned in Spider-Man, and people could question like who's the leader of the Avengers. The logical choice, I guess, would be Thor, but he's always off planet, quote unquote. So I don't know how that will work, and I guess we'll see what happens in Thor. And Thor: Love and Thunder is the last movie on this timeline, officially confirmed at least. It comes out November 5th of 2021. That is the movie I'm most looking forward to, and of course is at the end of this list. I'm looking forward to everything, honestly. I'm actually really looking forward to Black Widow, because it's going to be in there. She's fighting Taskmaster in the movie. He's the main villain, which I think is really fucking interesting. I haven't really had a whole lot of exposure to him other than the Spider-Man PS4 video game,
Right.
and his his like side missions and stuff are great. So he basically is like, he always wears a mask, and he has basically like a smaller version of Captain America's shield.
Right.
Which is cool. So this, I'm very excited. This was really surprising. And the one big thing, well, there's several things that, another big thing that was confirmed that was out of fucking nowhere, like out of nowhere. And when I heard it, I was like, this makes so much goddamn sense. Like I think we all know what I'm talking about.
Right.
So, Blade.
Yes.
I know who the Mahershala Ali. Blade.
Yeah, man, it's super interesting. We're going to have the introduction of Blade, which means the introduction of vampires in the MCU, which we'll see how that works. I'm guessing they'll just be kind of underground, not really like a threat outside of the Blade movies. But yeah, man, I'm kind of like shocked because, one, Mahershala Ali in Luke Cage plays Cottonmouth, but they clearly don't give a shit about the Netflix movie or shows anymore. Nope. So that doesn't matter. He was really good as that. But it's also like he's really built a strong resume the last few years. He's won 2 Academy Awards in the last like 3 years, 4 years, something like that. And to have an actor who is so acclaimed to be like, yeah, I want to play a comic villain, it really legitimizes it. Not that comic movies aren't legitimized already, but it really like sets a precedent. Like, yeah, big Academy Award winners are going to be seeking out these kind of roles now.
Yeah, I agree, and he's actually like probably, if he's not my favorite actor in Hollywood right now, he's definitely top 3. Everything he's in, he's amazing in. And one of the things I found really cool about this is that he actively campaigned to get the Blade role, which I think is awesome.
I think it's really fun. Like, he was like, all right, I've won a bunch of awards, now I want to play Blade.
Yeah, like you put me as like this B character in a Marvel TV show that doesn't even exist anymore. Like, why don't you put me in the big game? And Blade's gonna fucking crush. I think when that Blade movie comes out, and I don't know, that's at least 2022. Same thing with X-Men and Fantastic Four, which were also announced.
Yeah, that was exciting too. Obviously, no like real confirmation, but at least like we're talking about them. It's happening.
Yep. The mutants and the Fantastic Four are officially in this universe, which I think is great. Another thing that actually kind of surprised me too is no Deadpool. No Deadpool.
Yeah, so my 3 surprises were no Deadpool, no Spider-Man announcement, and no Captain Marvel announcement. I thought that was a sure thing, like they were going to make another one as soon as possible, you know?
Well, I mean, they announced that they're making a Captain Marvel 2. They did announce that. They just it's the same thing with Guardians of the Galaxy 3. We just have no idea when that's going to be.
Right.
And Guardians is probably the most surprising to me. And we talked about it. I said that they had to do a Guardians of the Galaxy with Thor.
Right.
And I'm surprised that that's not one of the first movies they're tackling, because we've been hearing about Guardians 3 for like I feel like a year or 2 years with the whole thing with James Gunn. And like, so that movie's been in pre-production for like ever. So
yeah, I think correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard like they were going to go into production without him, and then they were like, okay, we can't do this, so they canceled it, and then it kind of just got shelved for a while.
Well, the problem is that he's still doing Suicide Squad,
Right.
and that is I think Suicide Squad is set to come out next year. So
That should be cool.
the emancipation of one Harley Quinn or whatever that might be Birds of Prey. I have no fucking idea. Who cares about DC anymore?
Yeah, I wouldn't even be surprised if none of the original Suicide Squad were in James Gunn's Suicide Squad.
I think Harley Quinn is like the only one that's coming back, and I think everybody else got recast or they're just putting in new bad guys. But anyways, yeah. So he's doing Suicide Squad first, which sucks because that's just a universe I do not give a shit about anymore at all.
I didn't hate the first Suicide Squad. It was a fun popcorn flick, like matinee type movie, you know.
I think in the world we're in now of universe building, it's tough to like just care about that story anymore. It's the same thing. Like I can't really ever go back and watch Batman vs Superman or Justice League again because like it just doesn't matter. Right. Like those movies like just don't matter to anything in the future. So, and like they're not that good. So like I just have no reason to go back and watch them, which is how I feel kind of about Suicide Squad. And Suicide Squad, man, you want to talk about movies that really sell you with the trailer? Suicide Squad might have fucking duped everyone. Because Suicide Squad, I would argue, had the best trailer ever. With Bohemian Rhapsody and all that. They really sold that movie. I was like, holy shit, this movie's gonna be awesome. And sure enough, it wasn't.
That whole trailer was so good that they actually like hired the company to re-edit the movie. It still couldn't save it, but
that I get chills thinking about that trailer because it was so fucking good.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, it's Phase 4 is gonna be very interesting, and you know to me it's a high risk high reward for Marvel right now, because if a lot of these stink, and I think the movie I'm most worried about stinking is Eternals, honestly. If a lot of these stink, like I do think that it's the potential, and I also think that maybe this is why they put Thor at the end of this list. That maybe there's a potential where like the buzz for Marvel is going to drop off because it's been at an all-time high the past 2 years, and I can't really get higher than that. I think their goal right now is to maintain the same level of where they've been at, which is basically impossible. But I think their absolute worst case scenario is if these stink. And I think we'll get a first glance with Black Widow, which I have pretty high hopes for. I have high hopes for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but Eternals I think could potentially be the one that maybe puts us on a downward trajectory. Maybe that's why they have Thor pushed out so long, because it's like almost all but a guarantee that Thor's gonna be fucking awesome. So
it'll be interesting to see. I think if there was a time where they can experiment with weird properties, it's now. They have so much goodwill that it's like, okay, show me what you got, Marvel. Like I'm along for the ride now.
Yeah, like 100%. Like we're gonna tune into all these. The pod will still be around and better than ever for this.
Yes, and maybe with a permanent name.
So there was a couple other things that have dropped between when we last talked and now. Obviously, Comic-Con was a big one. The Witcher trailer came out in Comic-Con, which, man, if I wasn't at my all-time excitement for this show, I sure as fuck am now. This Henry Cavill, everyone in this show looks fucking awesome. This is the show, man. This is gonna be. I'm calling it. This is gonna be the show when it drops. I'm hoping it comes out this year too, because it looks like that they've gotten pretty far with production. If they're not done already.
Right. Yeah, man, I think if there ever was a show that could just continue where Game of Thrones left off in terms of cultural impact and fantasy, it's this show.
Yep.
It has a huge fan base, one, with the games, obviously. Even though these aren't an adaptation of the games, it's still, very similar to the games. Yep. And then a lot of people who, were fans of the books, and then a lot of people who are more open to fantasy TV shows because of Game of Thrones. This is like the perfect time for this show to come out.
For people who don't know what The Witcher is or who Geralt of Rivia is, he's basically like a Batman in like this fantasy world. Is like the best way I can describe it. He's part of like this Witcher order. He knows some magic. He knows to cast potions. He basically fights like these demons, these occult creatures, these fantasy mystical creatures. It's fucking awesome. The game is awesome, but yeah, I've never read the books, and I think we've talked about this before. It's basically like Poland's like Game of Thrones.
Right.
This is I do think that this is going to be the next Game of Thrones type level. Maybe not in the first season, but especially because it's a worldwide phenomenon, mainly in Europe. Also, I think this is really going to be the thing that apparently saves Netflix, because Netflix is losing like billions.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised about that because who like oh I guess people probably just tune in for like Stranger Things and then cancel the subscription, right?
Yeah, I mean,
So,
this whole thing with Marvel and Disney Plus and them announcing all this doesn't really help
no,
Netflix either, because there's a lot of original content going in that way, like the Mandalorian, which is another thing. Surprised we didn't get a little bit more, but I guess that's Star Wars, so that's
right?
Star
Don't
Wars
they have like
not.
their own convention, Star
Well,
Wars?
I think that they were at Comic Con. I just don't think they had like any big shows or anything like that.
Right.
Like I think that there was like new toys at Comic Con. There was stuff like that, but they had Star Wars Celebration, which was back
That's what it
in
is. Yes.
May, maybe I want to say.
Yep. That's when we got the new trailer for the new movie, and
Yeah.
yeah.
So this could be the show. I'm not gonna say it saves Netflix because everybody has a Netflix account still, so I don't think they're gonna be out in the streets begging for change next week. But
Right.
this show, man, I'm really looking forward to this, and I think that even people that know nothing about the game and the books are gonna be interested in this one because that's Henry Cavill, who
Right.
is a hunk of a man for the ladies and the men, and I think he's an overall great actor.
Mm.
So this is gonna be great. 2 thumbs up, man. I'm this all-time high for this for me right now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean Henry Cavill somehow looking more jacked in this
Somehow.
movie. Like I don't
Yeah.
understand.
Not even that, he's just like ripped. Because
Yeah.
like Superman, he had to get jacked. This one, Geralt is ripped and jacked. So it's
Mhm.
like he's gripped. He's jacked. So hell yeah, dude. I'm hoping for a full nudity scene for him.
Hey man, might get your wish. I don't know. I feel like he's from England, right? Or from
Yes,
yeah. They don't care about that stuff over there.
sure don't.
So
Not if he's hung like a horse too. You know?
true, true. So there could be that. All right, Zombieland. I wanna
Zombieland
talk
double
about
tap,
that.
baby.
It dropped today.
Today.
When we're recording this.
Yeah, so I'm on a little bit of a high with Woody Harrelson right now because I'm rewatching True Detective
Oh, very
season
nice.
1, and he's so good in that. He's near perfect. And
Yeah, that
then-
is perfect of a show you can get. Is that first season of True Detective?
For sure. And I've been listening to a lot of stuff with Jesse Eisenberg because he's promoting a movie of his coming out right now. And it's crazy. Also, Emma Stone can't get lost in all this also
Right.
because I feel like when Zombieland first came out, she obviously wasn't the mega star she was now.
Mhm.
But Emma Stone's probably the biggest attraction for anybody for this movie. She's an A-list celebrity right now. Academy Award winner.
It's so funny when they shot the movie years ago. Who knew that all 4 of these actors would be Academy Award nominees and then she'd be a winner?
That's nuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great point. Because Abigail Breslin for Little Miss Sunshine too.
Mhm.
Great point.
So good.
Yeah, this is. I'm really excited for this because this is. I guess you could quote unquote call it original, and though I think it was a comic book, and then it was obviously the first movie, so it's a sequel. But this is great. I mean, it's one of the things that the zombie genre got right. So it looks awesome. The whole
Adding
plot,
a lot of good actors to it as well.
correct. Yeah, that's the other big thing is we're getting a lot of different people in the mix
Mhm.
because it was basically just them and Bill Murray in the first one.
Right.
The premise of this one is Columbus, Tallahassee, Wichita, and Little Rock move to the American heartland as they face off against evolved zombies, fellow survivors, and the pains of the snarky makeshift family. Yeah, man. Once again, 2 thumbs up. This is comes out this October, so when we do our fall preview, this is going to be up there. I'm assuming this is going to be see it for both of us.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be I would imagine a whole topic of an episode. I'm ready for that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, this is a movie I'm very much looking forward to. It's probably not going to be nominated for an Academy Award this year, but it's a movie I'm going to be seeing opening night.
Yeah.
So fuck yeah, Zombieland double tap, 2 thumbs up. I can't wait for this.
Me neither.
Some more slop for me to hawk on, man.